Hashtag how real estate agents actually make money. Most people think they understand how real estate agents get paid. You sell a house, you get a check. Simple, right? But the reality is far more complicated, far more layered, and honestly, far more interesting than that. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the actual financial mechanics behind one of America's most misunderstood professions. By the end of this video, you'll never look at a real estate transaction the same way again. Let's start with the foundation. Real estate agents in the United States do not earn a salary. There is no base pay, no hourly wage, no guaranteed income of any kind. Every single dollar an agent earns is tied directly to closed transactions. That means an agent can work for 3 months, show 50 homes, write 10 offers, and walk away with absolutely nothing if none of those deals cross the finish line. This is a purely commission-based profession, and understanding that single fact changes everything about how you interpret the way agents behave, negotiate, and prioritize their time. The standard commission structure has historically hovered around 5 to 6% of a home's final sale price. On a $300,000 home, that translates to $15,000 to $18,000 in total commission. Sounds like a significant payday, right? But here's where the math gets complicated. That commission is not going into one agent's pocket. It gets split, usually down the middle, between the listing agent who represented the seller and the buyer's agent who represented the purchaser. So now we're looking at roughly $7,500 to $9,000 per side on that same $300,000 transaction. But the splitting doesn't stop there. This is where most people's understanding completely breaks down. Every licensed real estate agent in America must work under a licensed broker. The agent cannot legally operate independently. The broker provides office space, legal protection, transaction support, errors and omissions insurance, and their brokerage license. In exchange, the broker takes a cut. That cut varies dramatically depending on the brokerage model. At a traditional firm like a local independent brokerage, the broker might take anywhere from 30 to 50% of the agent's commission. At a large franchise like RE/MAX or Keller Williams, agents often operate on what's called a cap system, where they pay a flat fee per transaction or reach an annual cap after which they keep 100% of their commissions. So let's run the full math on that $300,000 home. Total commission at 6% is $18,000. Split between 2 agents, each side gets $9,000. The listing agent then pays their broker, let's say 40%, leaving them with $5,400. Out of that, the agent still has business expenses including marketing costs, photography, signage, lockboxes, MLS fees, association dues, and continuing education requirements. After all of that, a single transaction on a $300,000 home might net an experienced agent somewhere between $3,500 and $5,000 in actual take-home value. The perception and the reality are worlds apart. Now let's talk about where agents actually find their money, because the transaction commission is just one piece of the picture. Experienced agents understand that survival in this business requires building multiple income streams and protecting their pipeline ferociously. The most successful agents operate less like salespeople and more like small business owners. They invest in their brand, their database, and their referral network with the same seriousness that any entrepreneur would apply to a growing company. Referrals are the lifeblood of a sustainable real estate career. When a past client refers a friend or family member, that lead converts at an extraordinarily high rate. Industry data suggests that referred clients close at more than 4 times the rate of cold internet leads. Top producers often report that 60 to 80% of their annual business comes directly from their sphere of influence, meaning people they already know or have worked with before. This is why you see agents sending holiday cards, hosting client appreciation events, and staying relentlessly in touch with their database. It is not just good manners. It is survival strategy. Beyond the traditional commission model, many agents generate income through referral fees paid between agents. Here's how that works. If a client in New York tells their agent they're relocating to Austin, Texas, the New York agent cannot simply work that deal. They're not licensed in Texas. Instead, they refer the client to a trusted Austin agent and receive a referral fee, typically 25% of the receiving agent's commission at closing. This creates an entire sub-economy within real estate where well-connected agents in major metropolitan areas earn consistent income simply by routing clients to trusted partners across the country and around the world through international referral networks. Another income layer involves ancillary services. Many experienced agents eventually move into the mortgage space either by obtaining a loan officer license or by partnering deeply with preferred mortgage lenders who pay for co-marketing, office space, or lead sharing. Some agents build teams and earn a percentage of their team members' commissions, essentially becoming small business operators who leverage the production of other agents to build wealth. This team model is increasingly common and has produced some of the highest earners in the industry, agents who personally close fewer transactions but earn more total income by scaling through others. Property management is another avenue many agents pursue. If an investor client purchases a rental property, the agent may offer to manage that property on an ongoing basis, typically charging 8 to 12% of monthly rental income. This creates recurring, predictable revenue that smooths out the feast and famine nature of transaction-based commissions. A single agent managing 20 rental units at an average rent of $1,500 per month, charging 10%, generates $3,000 in consistent monthly income regardless of market conditions. Now let's address the elephant in the room, which is the major commission disruption that began reshaping the industry in 2024. Following a landmark settlement by the National Association of Realtors, the traditional model of seller-paid buyer-agent commissions faced significant structural changes. Under the new rules, buyer agents must now have explicit written compensation agreements with their clients before showing properties. Sellers are no longer obligated to offer compensation to buyer agents through the MLS. This has created enormous uncertainty, real negotiation pressure, and in many markets, a tangible reduction in buyer agent commissions. What this means practically is that buyers in many transactions are now directly negotiating what they'll pay their own agent, sometimes at a flat fee, sometimes hourly, and sometimes through seller-paid concessions negotiated during the offer process. This shift is accelerating the professionalization of buyer representation, because agents who cannot clearly articulate their value proposition are losing clients to those who can. The agents adapting best are those who have built deep expertise, strong negotiating skills, and compelling communication around exactly what they deliver for their compensation. The income distribution in real estate is also deeply unequal and worth understanding. According to data from the National Association of Realtors, the median gross income for a real estate agent is approximately $56,000 annually. However, that number is pulled down significantly by the enormous number of part-time or low-volume agents in the industry. Roughly 80% of real estate transactions are completed by just 20% of agents. The top tier, agents closing 30 or more transactions per year, routinely earn $200,000 to well over $1 million annually. The bottom tier, agents closing 5 or fewer transactions per year, often earn less than $20,000 and many exit the industry within 2 years. This distribution explains why top agents invest so aggressively in lead generation, advertising, and systems. For a high-volume agent, every additional transaction added to their pipeline has an outsized return because their fixed costs are already covered. Their 40th transaction in a year costs almost nothing to service from an infrastructure standpoint but delivers the same gross commission as their first. Scale is everything in this business. Geographic variation also plays a massive role in agent income.